up, my fellow HHN obsessies, and welcome to the HHN Obsession Podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ. With me, as always, the co-ghost, James.
James, the co-ghost. You get it like co-host. Hey, ghost of the day. We're starting from the bottom.
Now
Carrot
we're here.
top. What's that?
I said now we're here. Started from the bottom.
Oh. Dang it. I was trying to go quick, but I'll do 3 at a time right now. We got Carrot Top, Chelsea Handler, and Noah Droop. Happy birthday, Noah Droop. He's a kid actor. He was in Wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really getting this segment locked in, getting it speed round now,
You see how quick that was?
It was so quick. The magic of editing, ladies and gentlemen. You won't even know.
Yeah. Let's go.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We're going to be all over the place as usual. Nothing's changing here. We're getting back on these mics because, of course, right after we finished recording our last rumors episode, our last update episode, a lot more stuff just suddenly started coming out. And it's not all necessarily HHN, but when we're kind of in a lull of HHN updates, I like to always kind of throw in just universal updates on the podcast because, it's relevant. So yeah, we're going to kind of do a quick episode here and talk about some new stuff. And there is 1 or 2 HHN rumors that we will talk about, but I'll save that for the end. Without further ado, James?
Yo.
I'm sure you haven't heard anything, but something pretty big got announced yesterday that's not necessarily connected right now to Orlando, but it very well could lead into something for Orlando.
A little seed of a rumor?
Not a rumor, official.
Okay.
So, Universal Studios Hollywood has announced that March 10th will be the last ride for Fast and Furious Supercharged.
Oh, dang. Was that in the cards? Fast and Furious was on the chopping block?
Well, I mean, if you look at Orlando, it seems that way because, first of all, there's Horror Nights that always or not always. It's been this past year, it shut down during HHN season. There was that whole thing, and then there was a good while where it was just closed for a long time just to save money because I think Universal knows that it's not very popular. So when they were trying to make some cuts to save for all this Epic Universe funding, they would close this ride down. And I think it was closed for the pandemic for a good while. Universal is aware that ride is not good. And it's
a warehouse. It's basically a warehouse when they're not using it, and they don't use it a lot. So yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Well, it's themed as a warehouse. Once that's gone, it won't be a warehouse, right?
It'll be a warehouse. Where to go? They're gonna tear it down, yeah? Or repurpose.
I mean, they'll repurpose it, I feel like. But anyway, in Hollywood, it's not its own ride. It's part of the tram tour. Same thing goes for Kong. Like the Kong that we have in Islands, that's part of the tram tour in Hollywood. Yeah. So, you take the tram tour through all the sets, and then randomly in between you seeing all the sets, they take you into these buildings, and it turns into a mini ride. It's the same thing we got, except a little different. You don't get on a party bus, you're on the tram.
You think it works better in that way? It works better as a trail mix ingredient, right?
I think so, but not by much.
Okay.
Even then, that ride is not good. Nobody's really said anything about it, or at least as far as I could see, but I see this as the reason they're closing it is because in Hollywood, they're building a whole Fast and Furious roller coaster, their drift coaster. It's supposed to open next year, I think. And I think that's the excuse to finally close this, right?
I guess so. I mean, it's a different place, but yeah, you don't need more than one everywhere.
Exactly, because what I'm getting at is it's not a popular attraction. Everybody hates on it. It gets horrible reviews. Universal doesn't want that forever. So they're making this better ride to still have the IP in the park and get rid of the one that's universally hated.
Oh, I almost hate that as much as the universally hated topic of subject of hatred. Yep.
But This was just announced yesterday, and the last ride is March 10th. It is February 25th as of this recording. Anyway, they didn't give a whole lot of time for this, so
Yeah, it's coming up, huh?
yeah, it's pretty quick. I think this is like, all right, it's time to get rid of this, save some money, and nobody's going to care that much.
We're about to old yeller it.
Yeah, pretty much. And even when there's so many people hating on this ride, like everybody hates it in Orlando, Hollywood, I guarantee you those lines are still going to be long to ride it for the last time.
Yeah, the nostalgia Fast and Furious ride hards, I guess. They're gonna come out the woodwork. They're gonna be like, no, save the trees, save the. I don't know. You think anyone's gonna? Probably people are gonna be like nostalgic for it. They're gonna care.
I think they're just going to write it one more time, just as like, I don't even know what the word would be, like novelty. I don't know, like sarcastically going to write it.
Ironically,
Ironically, yeah. I think they're ironically gonna ride it one last time.
that would be funny if they're like sad sending it off, but sarcastically.
Like imagine it closing in Orlando when it's the party bus, and they actually turn it into like a party bus atmosphere.
Oh,
Like
cool.
everybody over over enthusiastically like cheers for it.
I hope that's a trend. I hope people start like making like I'll always remember you shorts and stuff like overly dramatic, but like who cares that much, really? You know, I
I
want
don't
that.
think anybody cares that much for this ride closing, especially in Hollywood where they're about to get a really cool drift coaster.
Yeah, drift.
So it does say that the closure of this attraction will pave the way for an exciting all new studio tour attraction to be announced soon. So they're about to put a whole new IP as part of the tram tour. Usually they get them first and then Orlando eventually gets it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I want another tram tour clone. They're not that great. Kong is way better than Fast and Furious, but now that they've removed the 3D, it's not as good. Still better than Fast and Furious, but
Maybe they can make a Godzilla, kind of pivot.
again, going back to the theory, Rip Ride Rocket is closing,
Hmm.
and we talked about it. There's two different rumors going around. One is they're bringing that Fast and Furious drift coaster to Orlando as a different coaster. It's not going to be the same layout, obviously, or it's going to be a Ghostbusters roller coaster. I'm betting and leaning more towards that Fast and Furious coaster. Um,
Yeah, I mean, context clues, right? You put the pieces.
Once they start building that, they might do the same thing. They might close down Fast and Furious Supercharged in Orlando and make room for something else there, which needs to happen. That is the newest ride at Universal Studios, like the original side of the park in Orlando. There's newer attractions, but as far as rides go, that's the newest ride there. And it's probably going to be the next one to go.
Hmm.
I think it's going to have a quick life. I can probably say that.
Last one in, first one out. It went pretty fast.
Came and went, Fast and Furious. But I think we've talked about that attraction enough. Something else, real quick, to talk about. So, kind of going in order by dates. So that was March 10th. Something else that was announced a week ago, maybe the Las Vegas year-round Halloween Horror Nights attraction, Horror Unleashed, I believe it's called, is officially opening August of this year.
Oh,
That is officially announced. It is happening.
you will see us there inaugurational day, meet and greets. I'll sign your shirt.
I don't think I can, man. I would rather save up for Orlando.
Hey, here's a question: of all of the upcoming, non-Orlandos, what would be your next go-to? I mean, there's Texas ones coming. And they're all over the place.
Spoiler alert.
Is that a spoiler? The
Mhm.
Texas?
For this episode.
Oh, there's something. Not I don't know. All right, but yeah, where would you go?
Probably, I guess Vegas would be the next step. Yeah, the next option. That would be over the fan nights in Hollywood. My main thing would be going to see Scarecrow again. Like that's my
Ooh,
all-time pretty sure that's my all-time favorite house, and the fact that that's coming as a year-round attraction right now,
mhm.
I would get a chance to see some version of that again. That's tempting. So yeah, that was
That's
officially
interesting.
announced. Just want to throw that out there. I know we haven't really talked about that event very much, but it is very exciting that there is going to be a year-round attraction that is Halloween Horror Nights theme. It was announced that Jack and Chance are going to be at this location. I think they're going to have like a whole bar and just like meet and greet area, and it's going to be a whole thing. Maybe when that opens, we'll do a little more coverage on that topic.
Neat. Yeah, I look forward to that. That's gonna suck though if we go. We can't talk about it. It's in Vegas. What happens there stays there.
Oh, dang. Well, there goes that idea. The last, I guess, kind of non HHN Orlando thing to have happened was, again, this past week, something else was announced, and that was Universal Kids Resort is officially opening in 2026 in Frisco, Texas, in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And that's a lot sooner than I thought, but actually looking at it and seeing some Skyview photos, it's not very big. It does make sense how it's going to be built pretty quickly.
That one I got mixed feelings because one, it's in my brother's backyard. That's exciting. Oh, I got a question after because I'm saying it's just for kids and that's a shame. But
Yeah.
is there room for expansion? Like you saw the aerial views, right?
There is little plots, yes, around the property for expansions, and that is confirmed, I think,
All
by
right,
permits.
all right. We got to support this thing to get the goods. You get it.
Now, as far as Texas goes, like if this succeeds, maybe there'll be a second park. Recently Universal kind of rebranded themselves as Universal Resorts and Experiences. Ever since they did that, they started doing the Vegas attraction, and they're doing this Universal Kids Resort. So they're expanding to where it's not just the two like big parks or the other parks around the world. And there's also
Yeah,
talk of a UK Universal now that's almost certainly happening. It's not official, but it's looks like it's coming. So
nice. Yeah, that's cool.
if it's going on the right trajectory, Universal UK or I don't even know what they would call it, Universal London or whatever it's going to be, could be a thing very soon. Oh, and
Nice.
there was a, I think it was a trademark for Halloween Horror Nights UK. So they wanted to be sure they took that name there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So, like, although they've already bought the trademarks or bought the names, doesn't mean like it's official because they still have to get approval. But they wanted to grab those before anybody
Oh,
else
to
did.
have been the little weasel to grab them before them and then make out like a money bag maniac, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
They'd be like, "Hey, I'm sitting on this. You want it? Cough it up."
exactly.
Now they jumped on that. That's why. Good for them.
Now, back to the Universal Kids Resort. So you did mention, yes, this is specifically for kids, of course, like and families. So it's all going to be mostly kiddie rides. But there's at least one certain thing that I feel like adults are going to be like, we have to go see this. And that one thing is there's going to be officially, this is announced. People speculated this by looking at the kind of the early artwork of this park. There is officially a SpongeBob land coming to
Oh yes.
Universal Kids Resort, and there is going to be a Krusty Krab. It looks like there is going to be a Krusty Krab at this
Wow.
park.
Is this the first official Krabby Patty? Wow.
Technically, no. There was actually, I think it was even in Dallas. I can't remember. There was this temporary,
Those pop-ups. I don't know if they count.
yeah. I don't know. Officially, yeah, there could be an official Krabby Patty for the first time.
Do you
Well, oh,
and you
hold
know
on, hold on. We're not counting Wendy's because
no, we are not.
if anybody ever tried that meal like a month or two ago, it was literally just a Wendy's burger, no theming at all.
Oh man.
It was awful.
Dude, as soon as Steven Hillenberg kicked the bucket, they were like, "Hey, merchandising, we got it." You know, they had no standards anymore, and good for them. Their pockets are full.
So officially at Universal Kids Resort, it's going to feature lands themed around beloved characters, including DreamWorks Animation's Shrek, Puss in Boots, Trolls, and Gabby's Dollhouse. Also including Nickelodeon SpongeBob SquarePants, Illuminations Minions, as well as Jurassic World. And this is probably going to be that Jurassic World Netflix cartoon show, which is also DreamWorks, I think.
I haven't checked that out. This is all sounding enticing. I mean, I know it's for kids, but like I'm in. I ain't shaking a stick at this. I am mad at it. I like it. So far, so good. I mean, if I see the rides and they ain't like, lazy little kid coasters, maybe they can be decent. I mean,
They
maybe you're
they
not even
they
there for the
are
rides.
they are. You should see some of the artwork. It's mostly like think about rides like that Simpsons twirl and hurl thing, like that type of like there's a lot of that. It looks like
Cool.
there is a Minions raft ride that looks like the most entertaining thing so far.
You
It's
know,
almost like the Six Flags like giant raft ones,
that's nice.
or like the Popeye one, I guess at Universal at Islands.
Okay.
It looks kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say when they rolled out the DreamWorks stuff, like I was not expecting to get like emotional, and everyone, and on top of that, I'm not gonna
Hold
give
on,
them all
hold
the
on.
praise either,
Pause.
because
Pause. Pause. Pause.
okay,
Pause.
what?
Did you just say you got emotional for the DreamWorks land? I did not know
People's
this.
videos. Yeah, I think I mentioned it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what?
yeah. People are going into that like the DreamWorks experience or whatever the play is. I don't know. I only saw a couple videos and clips when it was out, but dude, like it's not just for kids. I mean, the message is there for everyone. It's cool, and they cross over at all their particular properties they chose.
Wait, but
Um,
you haven't even seen it during the day, though.
no, I haven't seen it in person. I just saw the videos. It was
Oh
like
wow! So you
when it
got
was brand
emotional at
new.
home,
Yeah, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. Hey, this is better than I thought it was gonna be. This is tight.
dude.
It's
This
all right.
next year, you gotta buy a ticket, and we gotta get
Yeah,
your
I think
reaction.
yeah, probably. Aside from the praise and like how good and unexpected it was, like I want to say also this, like the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
there were complaints about the Shrekland being kind of lackluster and like lacking. With that litmus already, they got some feedback. They can do better now. I mean, this is going to be all kids. I mean, this is just a section that they unveiled at Universal. Everything is a test for the next thing. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know. I got high expectations over here. I mean,
I mean, you might be right when it's specifically designed just for kids and it's only going to focus on that. They might go a little more into it. I do worry that it's almost going to be a copy and paste situation, kind of like Hogsmeade or something.
mm,
Because think about it, it's not very much land.
yeah,
It's a small park. So how much could they actually fit into a whole Shrek land? Now, looking at the artwork for it, Puss in Boots has its own land. So I think that's going to be different. Looking at it now, maybe I'm going to take back what I'm saying because looking even at the Shrek land, it looks different than what DreamWorks is or anything. So, oh, and they even have a Trolls land. So it is, I guess it is going to be totally different. They might have like some same like attractions spread out, but everything has their
yeah.
own land here.
Well, the only reason
So,
I got high expectations, and they're cautious, but they're high because it's the main focus. This is the main dish is the kids stuff, and parents are going to be there too, and they want repeat customers, so they're going to make it enticing for the adults too, at least a little. Especially, I mean, because they unveiled it over here as a side dish. But if it's main course, I think it's going to have more effort, more intention to it. I hope it's good. I don't know.
I just hope they're gonna let adults go in there by themselves and not like, oh, you can't come in here without a child.
Yeah, that would be weird. That would be
But again, I don't even know if there's even gonna be anything for adults to do on their own. So, real quick, let me read this little blurb here on the article. It says the park and a 300-room resort hotel were announced in January 2023 and are being built at the intersection of the Dallas North Tollway and Panther Creek Parkway in Frisco and are designed for families with young children. It's an amazing opportunity to bring these iconic stories to life for kids and families to experience, interact with, and play together, said Sarah Gibbon, Vice President and Executive Producer of Universal Creative. At each point, we considered how we could design a place, especially for kids, where they could explore, imagine, and adventure with their families and friends. They'll be able to do all this while being fully immersed in some of their favorite stories, ones full of curiosity, laughter, and joy. So yeah, I won't read all the little descriptions of every IP, but it says at Universal Kids Resort, children will have the opportunity to play, sing, dance, and discover with some of their favorite characters, said Dan Cuff, Vice President and General Manager of Universal Kids Resort in Frisco. Beyond the highly engaging attractions and shows, families will find ample areas to rest and also enjoy themed food and beverages and shop for fun character souvenirs. Each of these areas elicits wonder with a lush, colorful environment. Universal Kids Resort is under construction and is expected to open in 2026. So there it is. Universal Kids Resort is officially opening in 2026 in Texas, right in our backyard.
Yeah, just for us, that one. For kids, for now. But it's gonna pop off, dude. And then they're gonna expand. It's gonna be a cool place. It'll be a cool place. You'll see.
We shall see.
Maybe they'll bring back some of that Nick Stees, the studios and the
Hey, they
that
got
old
SpongeBob there.
style.
Oh, that's another thing I was going to say. I've totally spaced on this. With SpongeBob coming to this park, obviously Orlando just has that one random store and they have the meet and greet characters. Is it time for a land to come to Orlando? Like I think Toon Lagoon at Islands of Adventure is the perfect opportunity to put Bikini Bottom. Like shove that in
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. It's a no-brainer. SpongeBob Land. I mean, it's weird they're doing it over here first, but yeah, it would be overdue for the all the
But
old comics and Popeye. And
that's going to obviously be the kids version, but bring it to
oh,
Orlando for
for
like
everyone.
everybody, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, SpongeBob is 25 years old at this point. Like we're grown up now. Like
Can you
it's
imagine every crevice, every corner, just a micro reference to something? Because there is a plethora of. You can put Bubble Buddy here. You can put a tiny little roach seat. At the tables, there's one in the corners for the roach. You can. Where's Waldo? This crap.
what kind of rides would SpongeBob be? Like a boating school ride?
Yeah, I guess bumper boats. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, boating school ride or a
A
Krabby
rock
Patty
bottom,
Mobile or something.
the drop rock bottom, whatever
Oh,
ride,
dude. Oh
and then
man.
now you're in the scary zone of SpongeBob. Hey,
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
a dark ride would be really awesome. Like to have an indoor attraction for SpongeBob.
Yeah, ET style. Go through the scenes. Definitely a drop into rock bottom, and then yeah,
Hmm.
there's tons of settings.
There's so much you could do with SpongeBob, and it's super easy to just throw that into Toon Lagoon. I think Toon Lagoon is outdated. Like it's time for that thing to go. Once Lost Continent is fixed, whatever's going in there, which is rumored to be more Nintendo, Zelda, whatever. Once that's fixed, and once Toon Lagoon is replaced with something, Islands of Adventure will be perfect. It'll be what it should be, what it hasn't been in a long time.
I want to see someone bring their super fan grandparents of those comic strips, take them there, and I want to see the hype fall out of them, like just screaming with they love Marmaduke. Oh, I want to see that video. There's just pure hype for that place before it's out, while it's still around,
That would be some interesting videos, like a trend of videos to bring like their grandparents to the park to see it.
and they're weeping. They're like, it's like the Disney adults or the Harry Potter. They go to the land and they're crying, but old people for the comics.
But you see, even then, I don't think they're that hardcore
I want it though.
IPs. Like
I know it probably does not exist, but
that land just doesn't make sense. Like I don't even know when that would be relevant. Like even back in '99 when it first opened, like there's no way it was that popular.
what about even at the height of the comics? I don't think it would have. I mean, okay, a photo op, cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's not a lot, even if you are into
like
all that.
it's so sad when they first opened that land. Toon Lagoon Theater is there. Like, it's like the same size as the Fear Factor Stadium, right? They had a whole comic strip show in there, and it didn't last but a year or two because of how not popular it was. And that place has been abandoned ever since. And it's only used for like special events that rent it out. It seems like it's been a waste ever since. So putting a popular IP there like SpongeBob is the perfect opportunity, and especially now that they have some theme park rights to it with this Frisco Land, I think it should be brought to Orlando. And it might take a while because Epic Universe is opening and no telling what the next phase is after this year, like what they're going to do. So far, they're going to replace the roller coaster. That's the next thing. So,
Hey, you know
I
how
don't know.
there's fan fictions? Like people will make up their stories, fan
Hmm.
fiction. I want someone to make a fan fiction of Universal where like they find a body dangling from the Marmaduke rope, and it's like it's so serious, but it's the Marmaduke rope, and there's a body, and it's a murder mystery. I don't know. Run with it, someone's a writer.
That is such a weird thought, James.
I'm thinking of that movie where they would hide the bodies with the decorations, and that was like such a cool thing. But now Marmaduke. But
But how many people just walk through that land now? Like that's just a walk through
yeah,
land.
yeah, no one goes there, right? They don't go there.
It's like,
Actually, one of those years, I was like hell bent on finding a corn dog because it was like American. It was the American way. Corn dog. It's the most American food. And
and
it
you
was hard to
found one
find.
there.
That's where it was. It was in that comic land. It was where no one goes. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Hey, pro tip for y'all: corn dog. That's where you'll find a corn dog.
Don't listen to James. Actually, Tyler Pugh just did a video about mistakes people make, first timer mistakes.
Don't tell me corn dog.
No, he just
What?
said don't buy basic food like turkey legs and corn dogs. Get the themed food. So don't
I
get a
mean,
corn
yeah.
dog.
Oh, actually, skip the turkey leg. I agree with that. It's like never as much flavor as you expect, and it's you got to get through it. No, but a corn dog, it's an easy little bite. It's a good little, at least experience.
All right, we need to move on. Let's talk about some HHN stuff real quick. The main event topic here. So first off, I want to say that last episode we talked about the WWE rumor. I don't have a whole lot of information on this, so not going to be a whole lot of discussion. I just want to bring it up. From what I can tell, that rumor is dying, if I'm reading it correctly.
Dang, ghost of the day, that rumor. Yeah, while it's still relevant, you're saying WWE's on the way out. Ric Flair, I forgot. Happy birthday, 76. Ghost of the day, I guess. But yeah, go on with the WWE rumors. It's out.
Well, again, not a whole lot on that, but I read a couple of things, a couple of people talking about it, and it seems like it is kind of disappearing a little bit.
You think that's because of the what do you call it, reception of it? You know, like people heard the news and it wasn't like hype. I wonder if that has any influence on it. You know, based on the fan reactions. You know,
Like you're
or
talking
like
about them not doing it,
yeah.
like Universal actually like pulling out from it or something.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking if like people, the fan reactions have any influence on whether a rumor has merit, if it comes to fruition, if it slips away.
But what do you mean by that? Like you like you're saying like Universal hears all the reaction and then says, "Oh no, we won't do it then."
Maybe. Yeah.
No, I don't think that happens.
Okay. It would have to be an extreme reaction, I guess.
Yeah, I think it would have to be an extreme situation. Once they have the IP, they're gonna go for it. I feel like there's always gonna be mixed reactions to stuff. So it is a kind of weird thing. It is kind of a weird rumor, I should say. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. So I could go either way with it. It's just gonna be a waiting game to see what happens. I'll be looking out, and maybe there'll be something to talk about on the next update. But for now, that's all I got for that specifically. It just seems like it's dying just a little bit. So,
Did they say why? Any reasons?
not that I saw. It just seems like the
Hmm.
people that were talking, I guess, like the sources were leaning more toward the no, not
Right.
positive on that. Next, it's just this one little thing that was posted on the forums that actually came from the Discord. So HHN365 podcast made a post about Terrifier could be coming to HHN. Like they posted about the rumor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, interesting enough, the director of Terrifier, Damon Leone, liked their post. Didn't comment on it, just liked it. What does that
Hmm.
mean? Could mean nothing. Could mean, this person knows. It's like that post.
Keep an eye if he takes it off too. That's another. detail. Maybe unlikes.
I think this was a while back, and I think it's still there. So, and he has talked about in the past that he wanted to work with Halloween Horror Nights. So, I think it's a pretty big certain that this is coming. Like out of all the rumors, I think this is the most confident one.
Yeah, that's a small blip, but it's a spike in engagement. That's like very specific, pretty sneaky.
That's another little update, and then the last update. This IP has kind of gone in and out, bobbing and weaving back and forth into the rumor mill of HHN, and not just this year, but it's back. It's back in the rumor mill.
Hmm.
Can you guess what it is?
I'm trying. Okay, Bob and Weave, Bob and Weave, SpongeBob, Bob Weave,
That is
SpongeBob
not.
with the
It's not a
weave,
hint, man. It's not a hint. It's
SpongeBob
just
wearing a weave.
it's literal. It's been bobbing and weaving out of the.
Snow Dogs, Bob and Weave, Bob and Weave. Is it Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yes, Jesus
Hey,
Christ.
all right. I had to get there. All right, I was thinking what's obvious and what's not.
Five
Got
Nights
to
at
it.
Freddy's has become a rumor once again
All right.
that it's coming to HHN34. This year makes a little more sense because the sequel is coming out later this year. We already have part one, so it's more than likely going to be the house for part one, but it'll coincide with the release of the second one.
Yeah,
So
and Zoinks is popping off. Right, Matthew Lillard. He's hot. You know, people are having their hot moments.
a couple of sources have talked about this Five Nights at Freddy's rumor, but Pinhead from Discord hasn't really said a whole lot so far this year. And he came out and did a small little post on Discord and said the best murderous animatronic property comes to Orlando in August 2025.
Chuck E. Cheese.
But that's the thing, like with this Five Nights at Freddy's rumor going around, people assume that's what he's talking about, but could it mean something else? I mean, he said murderous animatronic. Couldn't that be Megan as well?
I guess she animatronic.
She's not a doll, she's like a robot, right?
Yeah,
But when
she's
you
like an android or something.
when you think of animatronic, you go for Freddy Fazbear.
One of them spin-offs, huh? Like the bananas or the
No, that wouldn't come. But he's almost certainly talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. So if this is true, man, so far we got Terrifier, Fallout, Five Nights at Freddy's, maybe WWE. The merch this year, if that's all of the case, and think about each fan base for each of those properties. How packed this year will be crowd wise. If all the fans of Terrifier, all the fans of Five Nights at Freddy's, all the fans of
yeah,
Fallout, and all the fans of WWE were to all come to
yeah.
HHN, each
Those are
one
very different species.
each one of those properties is very different and has their own giant fan base.
Oh yeah, not tons of crossover there. Not tons of elbow room, and there won't be. You know, that's intense.
It's a lot of weird mixed bag IP going on, but at the same time, that would be genius because of how much different the fan
Yeah,
bases are and how much the different crowds are going to be there. It'll bring in more people. I could see Universal going for that mixed bag of IPs.
that's a cool strategy.
It's going to be
Yeah,
a very different year if these IPs are true.
yeah. Each thing is its own beacon. Like it's a magnet to its own crowd, and yeah, very crowded this year. Huh.
I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's will bring in a lot of the teenagers that cause issues. I feel like, but again, there's also people.
You're
People
gonna
will
see a
argue
lot.
that there's a lot of drunks that come to HHN. It's not just teenagers. So, I
Yeah, it
mean,
could balance out, huh?
WWE might bring in that. I don't know.
I just hope there's no wrestling amongst all these different crowds. Butt heads over
It's
here.
gonna be too real. Are you prepared, or are you excited if a Five Nights at Freddy's were to be a haunted house?
um, I mean, not specifically for that. I gave it a shot, and I saw it with my sister, the movie, and she had a lot of fun, but I had questions the whole time. I was like, what are they're ghosts? They're possessed by kids? I don't know.
I
I
saw
didn't know
five.
anything.
I saw Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time at Universal
Oh,
at
really?
the City Walk Cinemark. Yeah, at HHN32.
I went in with an open mind. I was like, okay, I don't know a whole lot. I've maybe seen a few gameplay clips, And then I went in like, okay, here's the story that I've never encountered, and it was still
I mean, same,
maybe I
yeah.
didn't. I don't know. I don't know if I didn't grasp it right or what.
Yeah, I don't know the whole lore of Five Nights at Freddy's or the whole backstory, or I don't play the game, so I kind of went in not knowing a whole lot. I mean, I knew the premise of like the original game, security guard, and you have to flip through all the security cams and not let
Yeah,
the animatronics come into your little office. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything else beside that. So,
they're always adding characters, and
mhm.
all of them got backstories, and it's weird, and it's like there's lore to it, and you got to keep up with it.
So let me ask you this: as far as the lineup we had for 33, the IP lineup, if this was the locked in lineup for sure, is this better or worse?
Well, it's not a full lineup.
I'm talking about IPs.
Oh, so as far as IPs, this might be the bracket.
I'm saying if this was the locked in IP lineup.
I mean, I'd be hyped because I know what's coming. It's coming with a lot of people. Like this is gonna bring waves. This is bringing tsunamis.
Is that a good
So
thing? I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's gonna be
maybe
worse
not.
for
Yeah,
us.
I don't know. I mean, the hype because the energy is gonna be there. You want that energy, right? You want the hype there.
Yeah, I guess
As
so.
chaotic as it is, you're going for the strangers screaming. It's like,
It's just HHN's already crowded enough. You
yeah, I
remember
agree.
last year?
Yeah.
Last year was probably the most crowded we had ever seen it that final week of HHN.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went in September for a couple days. It wasn't that crowded, and that September is known for having a lot of crowds. We got lucky that first time. Second trip, it was crazy the entire time we were there, and it got worse as the days went on. I feel like so.
Yeah, jam packed.
Imagine if we had those big IPs this year. Might not be a great thing, but we shall see.
And it can always shift, but
And yeah, this is not certain that this is what's coming. I'm just thinking ahead, speculating like if this were the actual lineup, what would be the effect of it?
I think in spite of the chaos, I think I still look forward to it. Especially like I don't know. I'm thinking of food. I mean, you got a lot of options with each of those. Yeah. I mean, I could get into food, but hype. I think I'm still hyped. I mean, personally, compared to, I'm not going to compare them, but
Hey, 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 5 bites at Freddy's.
I. That's the challenge. It's only 5 bites per food. Can you do it?
That's going to be the name of the booth. 5 bites at Freddy's.
I like it. I second that. I'll go for seconds.
Now they just need to announce Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'll be happy as like the classic IP.
Bite mare.
All right, so we'll go ahead and start closing this out. I just want to throw in one last thing that Legacy said, just to put this on the record, just in case he is correct. We could say that we talked about it early on.
Hi, Legacy. Shout out.
He threw out just a little thing on one of his posts, a little blurb here. Regarding originals, he's heard medieval, pirates, and Vikings, which could all be the same thing or 3 completely different things.
Medieval pirate Vikings.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So if further down the line we get something that's medieval pirates or Vikings
Or Viking pirates.
or Viking pirates, we shall see. We'll look back and say, "Dang, he was right that early on." It is the end of February, and Legacy. I don't know if we talked about it last time. Legacy did throw out that he expects there to be an announcement at the end of February. Whether that's going to happen or not, we shall see. It's coming up very soon. Also, this is around the time that Horror Night Nightmares releases their first spec map. We haven't got that yet. We had this kind of preview Christmas one that came out, but they said that wasn't the official version 1. It was just a preview map. So we haven't officially got our first version map this year from HNN.
That's
So that
really weird, right? We got rumors starting early, but then we're late to the map.
not necessarily late. They usually release the first one late
Okay, we're
February.
it's about due for that. Any
So
that's the forecast.
we
Okay.
are about due for it. So I would say everybody be on the lookout for that, because once the spec map comes out, we always do an episode on that. So that should be coming very soon, and we'll see what they have on their map and see if it kind of coincides with all the stuff we've been talking about. It's going to be interesting to see that first map.
I'm anticipating it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you haven't already, follow us on our social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky. We're at HHN Obsession. And please, 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 if you haven't already, give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcast. It helps out with the algorithms for other people finding us when they search for HHN or Halloween Horror Nights. And keep an eye out for future episodes. We're doing some campfire debate episodes where we compare some recent years and debate recent years to find out the victor. We also just did a retrospective time travel episode about Fright Nights, kind of a sub-series that we're doing called the HH and DeLorean. So please go check that out if you haven't already as well.
Yeah, man, we've been time traveling.
Yes, we have, and we'll be doing that again soon. On that note, everybody, we'll catch you on the next one.
Y'all be excellent to each other.
And stay classy, Orlando.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.